In 1653, the son of a Staffordshire innkeeper completed the most remarkable sporting book ever written. His name was Isaac Walton, its name was The Complete Angler, and its effect was to raise the recreation of fishing to the level of a near-religion. Well, more than 300 years later, in Britain alone, Walton still has 3 million practicing disciples. The fishing race is about 6 of them. Now, I should warn you that this is no everyday story of country folk. My qualifications for being here are none other than curiosity and fascination. At times, during the filming of the fishing race, it was as thrilling as some kind of amphibious Olympics. At others, it had all the action of liquid chess. The 6 anglers in the race are all experts. They've been split into teams of 2 and given 60 hours, non-stop, to fish anywhere in or off the coast of southern England. They compete simultaneously to catch not as many fish, but as many different types of fish as possible. They're after what must surely be one of the smallest trophies ever given, the Golden Maggot. To establish the rules, some of which they actually intended to keep, they met in one of Britain's most celebrated fishing pubs, the Bull at Downton in Wiltshire. The first team represents journalism. From left to right, Clive Gammon, an outstanding international writer, and Brian Harris, editor of Angling magazine. Dennis Darkin and John Darling are men of the night, security guards at government buildings in Whitehall. Darling, educated at Cranleigh and Oxford, found it was the only way he could make enough time for fishing. The third team, though not conspicuously looking it, are schoolmasters. Jim Gibbinson started fishing when he was 5. Ian Gillespie is the drollest character of the 6. All are experienced, competitive anglers, but they're quick to concede that the fishing race, with its added dimensions of travel and stamina, isn't quite what Isaac Walton may have had in mind.
The whole thing is contrived, isn't it? I mean, we're going to be labouring under rather difficult conditions. We're start off, we're going to be fishing 60 hours at a stretch. We're going to be rushing from water to water.
That's normal for me.
There's no way that this is going to emerge as normal angling.
No.
Yeah, but we 6 here just so happen to be all-round anglers, and I think we can, in fact, prove a point to those who say that you cannot be successful at lots of things. You know, if we can go out and catch fish in the sea and catch game fish and coarse fish all at one time, we'd have proved a damn good point.
What we're trying to do is to squeeze into 60 hours the kind of activities which might normally be spread over 6 months or
a season,
a season or a year.
I can't imagine a tougher test of all-round angling ability than this.
There is, of course, cheating in most competitive sports. How much skullduggery goes on in angling?
Or turn the beer off or something. They'll do that. But
that sort of sabotage.
They wouldn't fish illegally. As far as angling techniques are concerned, I think we all trust each other. But as far as skullduggery, because
skullduggery is different.
Because there is something to be put across the other 2 teams. That's fair enough. For instance, we know very well that he's going to ring the police up and say that there's a Land Rover been stolen in the London area, and he's going to give the registration number, and we know we have to avoid the police at all points.
We've changed that now, Ian. What's going to happen now is you're going to be served with a maintenance order on the banks of the Avon.
Well, that kind of thing we will tolerate and we will contend with.
Yeah. So how are the rules, briefly, as they exist at the moment? Clive, can you...
Well, I think the basic concept is very simple. It's just which team, which pair of us can catch the greatest number of different species in salt or fresh water in the given period. Full stop. There's a few little bits and pieces, you know, the biggest specimen of each species gets an extra point, that kind of thing. But basically, it's a hunt for different fish to see how many we can build up.
Sure. And of course, there are great logistical problems in this exercise. I mean, it's a pretty unusual way of going about it, isn't it?
Sure,
yeah. How briefly are you going to go about it as team?
Well, I must confess that my batman here has all the details, has all the details of our plans, which you're not going to reveal, except to say that they encompass capturing the whole spectrum of fish.
We're going to travel the minimum distance possible so that the fishing time is maximised, and we expect to catch something in the region of 25 species of fish.
Oh, you had it, haven't you? We've got an advantage already.
No chance.
Well, let's come to Team B. How do you feel?
We've chosen our swims for scenic beauty, not for maximum numbers of fish, They come second, you know.
It's like taking sweets off the baby.
But John Darling's old-school banter doesn't quite correspond with his partner's philosophy.
I'm an awful bad loser. You want to hear me coming home from bad days trout fishing? I don't like not catching fish. I never have done, and I don't think I'll ever get used to not catching fish.
But isn't the whole idea to relax, to wind down, even to commune with nature?
Well, any man who's, to my mind, any man who comes away from his days fishing not having caught a fish and then expresses the thoughts that the fish aren't important is kidding himself, quite frankly.
We reckon we've picked the right area. Scenic beauty doesn't come into it, but 25 species has been mentioned. That's a conservative estimate, Jim, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. We were
40
thinking
or
of
50, weren't we?
We were thinking of 30 plus,
Yeah.
but we are playing a bit of a gamble, I'll tell you that much. If we come unstuck with the weather, we're going to have problems.
We'll also have an excellent excuse. Don't forget that.
Well,
Jim,
the first class. Well, I've got that in now, haven't I?
Yeah, yeah.
How many guppy hybrids can you catch, in fact?
Nothing like that.
It would appear that only a tenuous state of trust exists between anglers. Guppy hybrids are housebeds, the things you see floating around above cocktail cabinets. What they're trying to establish is that only well-documented species will count.
Nobody's goldfish pool.
No, I'm happy.
2 months later, in an aquarium in darkest Essex, what do we find?
There we are now, Bob. Tell me what that is. No. That was quietly done, wasn't it?
What the devil is that?
That's the new British record rod-caught piranha. I think it's fairly true to say that throughout the 60 hours there will be a rod in the water. And if anything even comes within half an inch of it, we shall know about it.
And nobody crunching Benzodrine tablets.
Well, yeah, and we've got a drug test at the end of this. No drug test? No?
Well, gentlemen, there's the Angler's Bible. You're very happy to drink to those rules.
Oh, definitely, yes.
So, swearing on the blessed memory of Isaac Walton, the teams have a final drink and split up. They have 8 weeks to prepare for combat, and it will hearten parents everywhere to know that the schoolmasters, Gibbinson and Gillespie, approached it like a military campaign. They were the only ones to organise a dummy run. Yet even as they reconnoitre, they're still haunted by fears of opposition duplicity.
Look at them. Of course, there are people in the opposition who wouldn't stoop, who wouldn't hedge at stooping so low as to come and fish in a place like this, you know?
It just wouldn't be on,
No,
would it?
no, not really, no. I think we're above this sort of thing, Jim. We can do it by honest angling, eh?
I don't think, honestly, we need to do.
No.
We need to resolve.
Although it's a reconnoitring job, they can't resist having a go for a victim. This is a place called Hanningfield Reservoir, from which, by definition, a trout is hard-pressed to make a bolt for it. But this day, the fish score a conspicuous victory.
Well, I said we'd catch a fish on a recce. I didn't honestly anticipate we'd have a force 5 in our teeth. But, however, it's worth a try. On the actual day, of course, we'll be out in a boat, right over on the shallows, where even if a wind like this is belting down the reservoir, we should be able to cope with it a bit better than we can at the moment. Even now, I'm finding with a number 9 head, pushing it out into this wind, must be force 5 or thereabouts. There's no picnic.
Rather like bulls in bullfighting, offshore fish can occasionally exact some small measure of revenge. In the competition proper, though by no means in a force 5, Gibbinson suddenly blushed a pale shade of green and gave every indication that he wanted nothing more than to be back teaching geometry at the Riverview Junior School in Gravesend.
Not enough wind, too much wind. Never the right amount of wind. And as if that wasn't enough, we've got a fish for cameras as well.
How you can film a fishing race without cameras is beyond me, but it was a well-founded hint of conflict to come when the pressure's on.
I think when these other guys here, we failed on this trip, you see. They'll get all complacent and smug.
Yeah.
But I think we ought to warn them that it's not going to be like this on the day, is
we're
it?
going to tuck them right up, aren't we?
We are going to kill them.
Gammon and Harris, who are they? Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, they're the journalists. Harris, the fishing editor. Gammon, a marvellous writer for many publications, including America's prestigious Sports Illustrated. Their approach to the race may be described as deceptively casual.
going to do. I mean, Gibbinson's going to, you know, be lumping in bread all over the ruddy place.
They're going to make the mistake of taking it too seriously.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
All very cool in the planning, but they too tend to reveal another side to their characters on the opening day of the race. A Solent boatman hired to take them out off the Needles doesn't exactly win Gammon's unstinted admiration.
How will I put it without actually incurring a court action? We've fallen upon the kind of guy that ruins many a weekend for a lot of people in Britain. You know, the kind of couldn't-care-less skipper who hasn't seen fit to provide any bait.
It occurred to me that there's absolutely nothing in the rules.
But I tended to feel that Gammon and Harris are the lucky men. Find what you like doing best, said some shrewd philosopher, and then get someone to pay for it. As fishing writers, both have done that.
That'll do for 10, won't it?
Yes, fine. Yeah. What about your fly fishing rods, John?
Got heavy stuff here, you know. That one. Wellhouse number 8 lure.
It's a powerful rod, isn't it?
Of course it is, isn't it?
We've got a lighter one there.
Yeah. And go for nymphs.
Do some genuine fly fishing.
Shut up. That one for nymphs.
What does that weigh, John?
Little willowy things. What?
3.5
3
ounces?
ounces.
3 ounces, that is very light.
Yeah, you get a rainbow trout on that and the thing bends out.
Darling and Darkin have a different deal. They work by night to fish by day. Darling guards the Department of Trade and Industry. Darkin keeps an eye on the finance section of the Foreign Office. But it's the fishing that absorbs their minds, fills their bookshelves, and clutters their houses. In fact, to the uninitiated, fishing is all about mess. Bits of wire, sharp edges, pliers, mud, stale bread, maggots, and worse. There are no statistics revealing how many fishing wires run off with interior decorators, but the figure must be considerable.
This I've used twice. It's got 18-pound line on, very fast retrieve.
And you have crabs in the fridge that absolutely stink, and reels in the wash basin, and hooks, fish hooks, lying in the ground, which you tread on with bare feet.
Meanwhile, back in the planning stage, the schoolmasters decide to go for a gamble. If it comes off, it could win them the competition.
I also think another clever decision of ours, really, although it's a little bit risky, was to tend to put all our eggs in one basket about the Essex coast fisheries. I don't think many people realise it, although it's beginning to get realised that the Thames estuary in the Blackwater, if you've got the right sort of boat, which we have in Aquamanda, contains tremendous variety of sea species. I'd say there's probably 30 or 40 at least, aren't there?
Ostensibly, Gillespie and Gibbinson are pulling a fast one. The rules of the competition stipulate that all 3 teams must fish from the same boat off the Sussex coast during the closing hours of the race. While that seems to imply that all the rest of the fishing should be done from a riverbank, the rules don't actually say so. So the schoolmaster's gamble is to take a boat into the Blackwater estuary at the start of the race and hunt for species which wouldn't be seen dead off the Sussex resorts. So, with a couple of weeks to go, all 3 teams have plotted their respective routes and swallowed the microfilm. Littlehampton is the final target, but let's look how they plan to get there. Apart from their gamble in the Thames estuary, Gillespie and Gibbinson settle for comparative simplicity, dashing around in a few circles in Essex and then heading straight down for the Channel. In contrast, Darling and Darkin's route looks like some Ugandan high command plot to seize power or anything, from Seaford to Rye, from Rye north to Sidcup, which is to fishing what Knightsbridge is to the iron smelting industry. Then onward to Bow Beach. Having thus thrown everyone, including their own chauffeur, off the scent, they drop in at Newhaven. From Newhaven, they take a night journey to Hambledon Weir on the Thames. From there, indefatigably, they turn south to fish the Avon at Bremer in Hampshire. Still on the Avon, they head further south for another famous fishing ground, the old Norman town of Christchurch, now in Dorset. Finally, according to the rules, they drive through the last night to Littlehampton. Gammon and Harris also appear to be setting out on a motor rally. From Tunbridge Wells, they too head for Rye, and then to somewhere near Guildford in Surrey. In fact, all the way, they tend to complicate matters by trying their luck at several spots at almost every location. After fishing the test at Stockbridge, they also go down to Christchurch, and then, finally, they make their way to Littlehampton. Of Littlehampton, there's not much to say except to recall one remark by that splendid figure, the Duke of Norfolk, before his recent death. When money got tight, he said, "I was forced to sell it." This rush from venue to venue gives the race its second dimension, requiring a kind of Monte Carlo rally-style planning. Each team soon realized they needed a driver, come navigator, come backman, come cook to take some of the strain. The schoolmasters were lucky. The first achievement of their man, Bob Cox, was to get hold of the perfect vehicle by the eve of the race.
That's a lot, is it, Ian?
Yeah, fine. Sorting out now.
How
are you doing? Oh, that's all right.
It's not bad. We've straightened it up a bit.
Where's Bob? Bob! How the hell did he manage to get hold of the best wagon? I'm sure the others ain't got one.
It's a superb machine, isn't it?
Great stuff. Look at this. We're starting. We mean to go on. Oh, supper tonight, eh?
Little one I've got on first.
Fantastic. Of course, you know that the others will stay when they see this, don't you?
Yeah.
We've got all our caught fish caught before we start.
We shouldn't catch any of this small this
No,
weekend.
that's lovely. Put that in the fridge, boy.
God, look at all those lovely things.
Well, if beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so is revulsion. I've never yet met a maggot or a worm or a woodlouse which has switched me on, though that probably reveals some deficiency in my character. John Darling, a graduate in English from the University of Oxford, could become more lyrical about bait than even Isaac Walton himself.
There we are. A genuine worm. English bred, an aristocrat of its species.
Yeah. You've got some woodlice and all in there, I see.
Really?
Yeah, hang on to them, they might save us. What's this, luncheon meat?
Personally, I thought the only thing you could snare with luncheon meat was wartime evacuee children. Not so. Anglers, it seems, are not above using anything to trap a fish.
If you get it on the fridge downstairs, it's absolutely packed full of crabs for bait for the sea.
And of course, we're going to be digging some bait down there, aren't we? The ragworm.
Well, if you've got enough energy.
Well, we're going to have enough energy, mate. Tell you
All right.
that. Anyway, come on, let's get a move on.
So the race is on and the team set off. The rules decree a dawn start, and Gillespie and Gibbinson leave to spend the night on their boats at the Aquamanda. At this point, they're playing it all by the rules. Darling and Darkin have also driven through the night down to Ryan, Kent, and are up to their knees in mud only 2 hours to the start of the race. They're enthusing about bait again.
You get seams of ragworms. The thing is with these grey mullies is they are the thin-lipped variety in this river. They go mad for these little red worms. Normally they feed on little diatoms and algae and silt. And you have to get them preoccupied with these red worms because you can't put silt on a fishhook. And the result of that is you've got to spend hours turning over this mud. It's quite disgusting, really.
Great.
Gammon and Harris are maintaining graceful living to the end. In fact, it's the last respectable meal they or any of the teams will have for almost 3 days. Navigationally, they've decided to take a roundabout course, which in the early stages involves as much driving as fishing. For Gammon particularly, it's a strain. He steps straight off a plane from a journalistic assignment in America and is desperately short of sleep. Their gilly is a substantial figure called Dave Collier, who's 18 stone, and when not fishing, sells cars in Reigate and Surrey.
What time, Brian, what time does the sun come up now? About 3:30?
About 3:30, I'd say.
So we got an hour before that to...
Yeah. What do you make? About 2:35 now, yeah?
Yeah, right.
So we just got a nice cruise down to the river.
Yeah.
And time to get the gear up and get sorted.
Where do you reckon Gillespie is? Steaming out of the Thames estuary.
Probably something like that, something devious.
Gillespie, in fact, is contriving to look less like a disciple of Isaac Walton than one of the more furtive characters from a John le Carré espionage book. They're committed now to their gamble of putting to sea, a gamble which is entirely dependent on good weather. They're chilly and a long 60-hour haul lies ahead. But there are compensations, and one must surely be the sight of a dawn over the Thames estuary. Newenden is on the Kent-Sussex border, and already Gammon and Harris have driven for an hour and a half to get there in search of a single species, the silver bream. To a town-dwelling layman like me, for whom Reveille is all about the gentle tinkle of milk bottles, the surprise is that dawn in the country batters the ears like the 1812 overture.
It's debatable whether to stop doing this attempt to catch a silver bream, or whether to go after one of these very obvious pike, which we could probably catch.
Well, the thing is, if the pike are around, they're going to put the bream down anyway.
Yeah, yeah. It's very difficult to know when you don't know how much time you're committing to something. I think I'm going to do that, though.
You're going to try
I'll try the pike. I'm going to up the car and get my pike tackle. I'll leave this down here for now.
Right.
Okay.
In fact, it wasn't quite daybreak when the literary team started fishing, so in plain language, they jumped the gun. However, angling hardly puts a high premium on plain language anyway. It has a litany which is quite incomprehensible to the unconverted.
Well, that's the story of it. Fish are moving, but they're just not taking at the moment. Tried bread near the bottom, tried maggot near the bottom, and bread up, and maggot up, and nothing. Had one little touch a little while ago. I think the pike are upsetting them, and maybe Clive can get one of them.
Oh, yeah. Is that bream or...?
No, I think it's a little pike.
Okay. Can I go across there?
Yes, sure. Have you got a mep, Clive?
No, I've got tourbillon.
Find a mep's better here.
Is it?
Yeah. I'd swap to a mep straight away, Clive, because it's very, very shallow. Probably me just watching Clive and shaking.
Only 10 miles away over breakfast, the government security guards, Darling and Darkin, are dutifully playing it by the book. To them, daybreak means daybreak.
Not a bad dawn, actually.
Where did you see it?
I saw more of the inside of my tackle box than the door, actually.
Yeah, that was fantastic, Terry. Didn't I woke up, looked out the window. Just about that much horizon.
Equally, the schoolmasters live up to the high moral code of their calling. It's comfortably dawn by the time they drop anchor. But then comes the messy bit, the dismembering of one fish to catch a bigger fish. Not even Walton himself could make this baiting process sound romantic. One of his most charming ruses to attract fish to a certain area was to hurl chickens' entrails into the water. Gillespie has less radical theories, and Gibbinson is leaving nothing to chance.
Lovely.
Probably want to stick it about 25 yards over that way, just slightly up tide. All right?
It's their first cast, and it's the casting which provides the artistry. Every angler has a style and technique of his own, as recognizable to the fisherman as a spin bowler's artistry is to the cricketer. To me, it was a contradiction. Men who've just been hacking away at raw flesh with sharp knives suddenly reveal a wonderful gentility and sensitivity with their hands. Meanwhile, with dozens of venues to choose from, John Darling and Dennis Darkin are fishing the same river as Gammon and Harris. Darling can by no means be accused of showing urgency or panic.
Nice deep swim, this looks.
You're there. You're...
Coming.
Take that ratchet wall. No.
Gone?
First strike to Gillespie and Gibbinson. They're not only both highly professional, they expect precisely the same terse expertise from their gilly.
Yeah, thornback.
Thornback?
Chop the back off. Yes. Give him more time. Hook's too small, Jim.
That crab,
Yeah.
Byron?
Yeah. That was crab.
We're wasting too much time here.
For Harris and Gammon, however, the glitter has already gone out of the dawn of day one. Despite what in athletics terms was their flying start, they've landed nothing at all and are now committed to some concentrated car driving to catch up. Harris particularly appears to take the indifference of the fish as a personal affront.
Well, it's very, very cold, and the light didn't come up quick enough for us. But obviously...
A lot of very heavy mist. He was cooling the surface of the water, I think.
Yeah.
Probably come on and...
Then there was a pike, you see, working, obviously taking small fish and scaring them.
And that will put them down a bit.
It's one of those things, I'm afraid.
There's Christchurch Harbour, that's got silver bream, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, we got backups, but the thing to do now is to get to Walcombe because, you know, we're tight on the schedule now.
I'm pressing on, it's 4:45.
4:45, we've got to be down at Stockbridge at 10:30.
We're going to have to motor.
So we're going to have to really motor.
Dennis Darkin, in the meanwhile, has been doing some motoring of his own. Britain's eel population has been diminished by 1. Hardly a VIP among eels, but a start.
Just a little ordinary common freshwater eel. We hope tonight to get something a bit bigger than this. Whoop. The trouble with eels is they usually swallow the hook right down. And this one's no exception. Let go, you so-and-so. So we won't mess around. Ow! Got his teeth in me, look at that.
I'm jealous, Jim. I'm jealous.
And well, he might be. Although a few of the rules of the fishing race are, shall we say, tested for flexibility, it's definitely not on for a gilly to land a good catch. Not even John Brown, the most celebrated gilly of all, could get away with that. So Gillespie and Gibbinson have yet to open their score.
Just tell it to climb aboard, it'll do anything you say. Get out of the way.
So, under the terms of the competition, it's a pointless struggle. A non-participant against a thornback ray. But at least the sea is beginning to yield.
Got you, swine. That's my boy. Don't you talk about fish like that, they're lovely.
No, it's hooked in the sharp end, look.
God, bloody hell. Well, that's a very stupid thing to do, isn't it?
Coffee, lads.
Oh, lovely job. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
God bless you, sir.
Time you want your
tribe
breakfast.
increase. Hey, Jim, have you ever been up this early in the morning and so soon after the trip begins think time is running short already?
Only 59 hours left.
This is one of Britain's most serene beauty spots, Balcombe Lake. On its banks, a man may ruminate for days on such metaphysical matters as love, creation, and eternal life. But this is hardly what our second team, journalists Clive Gammon and Brian Harris, have in mind. They've already fished one venue and caught nothing. Now they're burning up 60 miles of road and country lane to get here and break their duck. But all is not well. They'd already laid ground bait to attract unsuspecting chub, only for Clive Gammon to discover they'd been scared away by the camera crew filming this sequence. Gammon, visibly, is not ruminating on love.
He's been feeding those chub for a week, feeding them bits of bread, you know. They're all there boiling on the surface. They're taking the bread, and I just got through the wire, and I was just...
That's just bad timing we happened to come along with it. When we got Brian up, perhaps we'll go through exactly how we're both going to work this, because there's no point in a repeat of that from my point of view.
Great stuff. What does that weigh? About 1 point?
Yeah, possibly two.
Back on the good ship Aquamanda, Gillespie and Gibbinson have struck. Not perhaps a Hemingway-sized eel, but a catch nevertheless. Gillespie becomes positively emotional.
He's kissed it.
I'll tell your missus.
And then goes straight to breakfast.
There you go. It looks rotten. It smells rotten.
Thanks a lot, Bob. What you cook that egg in? Engine oil?
Yeah. No, it's bilge wash, mate, that is.
looks lovely. Lovely.
You're
Excellent. Hit it, Jim. Yes!
Oh, beautiful.
Hey! Hey! Never told him, Jim. Don't knock him out. No!
Is that on ragworm, Jim?
Not high enough, so you've got enough drop on it. So.
The next victim, astonishingly to me, is a vicious stingray.
That,
You little
that
darling.
is 2 points. 2 points.
Sweetheart!
What's that sting?
There's a sting there.
That's just look at that stabbing itself.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yes,
Get
look
a
at
shot
that.
of that. Get a shot of that. That's made holes in itself.
That's come right through. Look at that.
Look.
The barb straight through to this side.
They're going to weigh it in the net, 'cause they're a bit dodgy, and then we'll weigh the net afterwards. Mind that sting.
What does it go, John?
Don't weigh the net afterwards.
That goes £9 6 ounces.
£9 6 ounces with
3 ounce net.
On the River Rother in Sussex, we catch up with our third team, John Darling and Dennis Darkin. Both are night security guards in Whitehall.
Right.
Both are obsessed by fishing. They're good friends, but curiously, they have outlooks on competitive fishing which become less and less compatible as the race goes on. Darkin could be a disciple of Alf Ramsey. Darling, public school in Oxford, is essentially Corinthian in outlook.
Right, that'll do. Now, around the ground bait I've been throwing in, around the float, there's a little shoal oblique appeared, and I'll keep them there for the moment to see if I can get one. See those little swirls around there? I've got here a rod which is it's a spinning rod, fly rod, and for this present moment a bleak rod. It's got a very small float, a couple of shot just to give it a bit of casting weight, and a single maggot. Well, that's a size 16 hook, all very fine stuff, you know. They're not exactly big fish, these, but, you know, when you're in a race, everything counts.
This is a little trick that not many people bother with. You draw the nylon through a piece of rubber, it takes the kinks out of it.
Oblique, we've got oblique. This is a fully grown fish, believe it or not. It looks rather like a sardine. I think the French eat them, don't they?
With all the river to fish in and only one of each species required, Darling should move on. But television wants an action replay of the bleak, a request not wholly appreciated by Darkin. He becomes quite insistent that they should keep moving.
Oh, blimey, missed it. So we're fishing too many rods at once.
Yeah.
No, we'll leave that. Can I have a go for these little bleak?
You don't want any more, do you?
Round the... yeah.
No, you don't. You only want one, John.
Listen, Sunshine, you're interrupting the sequence. Bugger off, will you? Can I have a go for these bleak? 'Cause where I've been throwing ground bait in round the float, there's a little shoal of bleakers appeared, and they're sort of dishing off the top.
Remember, you're in a race, John. We don't want to mess around with fish more than once.
Yeah, no, it's good telly.
Better tell you if you get yourself a tench.
Back at Balcombe Lake, peace mercifully has broken out again between the journalist team and the TV crew who scared all the fish away. But they're on their move again to their third location in 4 hours, an operation not unlike moving up to base camp on Everest. So far, Brian Harris, editor of Angling magazine, and Clive Gammon, a distinguished international writer, have spent as much time driving cars as fishing. But this time, they're travelling only a few miles to a 5-star pull-up for anglers known as Carter's Pond.
It's very muddy and it's very shallow. You find it's about 2'6" overall. You
Yes.
might find a hole 3 feet deep, but it's absolutely alive.
Fissure,
Teeny.
yeah.
No, not the fissure. Not the fissure, sort of 2 feet deep. You know, straight float tackle laying on, piece of bread on the hook, about number 10 or 12 hook.
And the prize in the lottery is the single perfect tench. You can pluck him out.
If we get that, that'll be something out of this world. You know, it'll be a real bonus.
Yes.
Here we go.
Good.
It looks like a little tench. Ah, bonus.
Tench?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Ah!
A real little bubba. With a tench nonetheless.
Awful small.
Isn't it lovely?
A bonus fish.
A bonus fish.
I wasn't expecting to get in here, really.
No.
They're growing, still growing. Those few I put in.
That was lucky, Dave.
Yeah. Can't be bad.
Hey, what we got here, Dave?
Common. Is it?
Common?
Is it? That's what we want. Either that or a big crucian.
It's a common, I
What's
think.
that tree?
Quick, Dave. Oh, lovely.
There you go. A little wild.
We don't have to go to...
We don't have to go to good down, mate.
Broadwater. Yeah, we can cut out Broadwater. That's 6 species, isn't it?
Yeah, good.
You got that?
It is. Right.
Crucian now. Let's get a goldfish and a crucian. You don't want to try for the goldfish?
I don't know. What do you think? It's 8:10 now. What you got there? What?
Oh, there you go.
Another extra?
Would you believe another funny?
Another funny?
Another funny?
Well, there are times when misogyny can mean the difference between life and death. So back goes the exa, Anglese in this case, for an exotic hybrid cross between a crucian carp and a goldfish. Even by the most Catholic rules of the fishing race, it doesn't count.
Okay, off we go.
Okay. Oops.
The schoolmasters took a considerable gamble when they elected to open their campaign from a boat. Bad weather could have put them hopelessly behind. But in fact, the day is perfect, the ragworm have no say in the matter, and Jim Gibbinson demonstrates almost to perfection the fine art of the cast. You will doubtless recall that if there were any living thing the schoolmasters didn't require to catch anymore, it was an eel. They'd caught an eel before breakfast. They've now caught another eel since breakfast. Eels of any shape, size, or IQ, they definitely do not want.
I don't think that's an eel. I hope it ain't an eel. I don't think that's an eel. That is not an eel.
No, nothing.
Eel. It's a bloody great eel. Bless my soul. Have you got it, Jim?
I think so.
Put me out of misery. Humber again. That's a bass. That's a bass. No eel, boy.
That's an eel.
Oh. We've had enough eels, Jim, haven't we?
Look at that. Muck up the damn line. Just look at it.
Why didn't you tell me we'd had enough eels? I wouldn't have caught this. There are no good eels, you see.
Yeah, that might be the best one.
300 years ago, Isaac Walton was observing that the Thames abounds with eels.
Yeah, then straight over.
Perhaps just as well.
Oh, that's a disappointment.
The ubiquitous Gammon and Harris are moving on yet again, this time to the most exclusive fly fishing grounds in the world.
Some money spent here on trout fishing, Clive. Yeah.
Well, oddly enough, I fished most places in the UK. I never fished the Test before.
The Test in Hampshire is the Lord's, the Ascot of angling. A good day's fishing here can cost you even more than a bad day at the races.
One wonders, in fact, if one ought to kind of genuflect when you actually come within sight of the water. I suppose dry fly fishing essentially is a very simple technique. It's a very obvious, very simple technique of having your fly float on the surface.
It's just like floating bread for carp or any other fish, isn't it?
Of course, yes.
Once
It's the way fly fishing started.
Yeah.
with no reel and dapping.
Sure. Yeah.
Dapping a fly on the surface of the water.
Of course, the real thing is that we try to make it difficult to interest ourselves, don't
Yes.
we? You know,
Yes.
and there is a great deal of finesse in it, really, I suppose. You know, because these trout particularly are cast over by every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and you know, they've seen a lot of flies, and if you bungle the cast and don't land it like thistledown, they don't want to know, particularly the trout. Grayling a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Even the experts can get themselves in a tangle.
One little grayling. Too short. Did you get it?
Guys, they're going like good ones over here. I should come and have a go for you.
Little brownie.
A brownie in this instance having less to do with small gold guides than angling vernacular for a brown trout. Out at sea, more Spartan conditions prevail as the sun finally blazes down on the fishing race. There are still 2.5 days and 2 nights to go. By any standards, an endurance test totally alien to Isaac Walton's concept of angling as a kind of intellectual withdrawal from strain and rush.
I think the way things are shaping up, we've chosen the right day to be out here, actually.
We've got another 10 hours afloat yet, haven't we? Plenty of time for all sorts of things to happen. Nearly 2 tides to fish yet.
I wonder how those stingray came through when they did come through.
Well, that's what will happen with the bass. What are you doing?
That lifted the damn rod up.
What? Slack line?
Already, with only one morning gone, concentration is beginning to flag.
Serves me damn right. Weren't paying attention.
Just pay attention, Gibbinson, if you don't
Got
mind.
into that sort of lull that nothing was happening.
Do you know what, Jim?
What's that?
You might be able to look back on that moment and say, that's when we lost the Golden Maggot. That's when we blew it all.
Wriggled off the hook.
And I shall blame you for everything.
That's mutinous talk, Gillespie,
Yeah.
talking about losing at all.
Yeah, but I'm afraid that's inevitable, Jim. If you're not paying attention at this stage, what are you going to be like in 40 hours' time, eh? Kip it. Leaving it all to me again.
You are right.
I caught the eel and the potent. What you caught? Stingray. Oh, yes, you have. So you have. Forgotten about that.
There's something there. Hey!
Good God, Jim, what are you on about now? Look,
What's that,
I
little
want
old
you to
whiting?
take this bloody competition seriously, Jim.
I think I'll
Don't
leave that on and
count
chuck it out
anything
again.
Like that. That's it, leave it on for bait. There you got it, that's right.
Might pick up a decent bass on that.
It's a long time since I've seen a whiting that size. They don't normally grow that small.
I hope it's a long time before we see another.
Most of them are born bigger than that, you know, Jim.
Right now, Jim, when I catch something that's different, mate, it's points, not silly little whitings. Look at that, boy. Look at that, look. Fighting dab. Another couple of points at least. At least.
No, you get one on that.
And plucks forth dabs with great alacrity, boy. Look at that.
You can take something for that, you know.
The eel epidemic, meanwhile, has spread inland to Darling and Darkin. 4.5 hours into the competition and only one species.
Nothing seems to be happening here. And just below the bridge, there are lots of people catching fish. So this is the time to swallow the pride and go and actually catch something. Morning.
Morning.
All right. How are you getting on?
It's not too bad, is it?
What you got?
I've got a few things. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't fall in. There we are. There's something there.
Come on, man. How many species you got? You got breams? That's a... Oh, yes, very nice.
Shower time.
Perch you got there?
Yes, little perch.
Tench?
No, we did get tench, but we didn't.
But stubborn pride is not one of John Darling's faults. With the humility of an atom scientist calling in the village electrician to mend a fuse, he seeks advice.
What pound line are you using?
Me?
Yeah. Sorry?
£1.5.
What size floats?
16.
Right. Thanks for doing the spade work. We're catching all the big fish today. A miniature perch. A sub-miniature perch. I thought a perch of about a pounder, a bit small, but this chap...
Dennis Darkin, in the meantime, has ventured half a mile upstream and discovered neither fish nor advice. He returns looking not unlike a man who's just been forced to bail out of his sop with camel.
How you doing, John?
Silver bream, yes? Or ordinary bream? Bronze bream. Small bronze bream. We catch all the small fish here. Mind you, they're easy, you see. We've now got 5 species.
Great. Lost a ruddy mullet up there, didn't I? Broke me.
Yeah, we should have used some of these decent hooks, you see.
Wasn't a hook, it was a ruddy hook link went, wasn't it?
Was it? Well...
Well, we're going to have to cut it now. Get up the stick cut. I was told they were microscopic.
Well, they are pretty microscopic, aren't they? Well, you know.
Right, I'll go up and get these weighed and then we'll push off.
In fact, Darling's expertise takes their species total to 5 as they move on. Their next quarry is the most prestigious, the most imperious, and, all things being above board, the most elusive in the angling debret, a carp. It's curious, therefore, that our heroes should have homed in on a locale which is neither renowned for its scenic grandeur nor traditionally associated with distinguished or even heroic feats of angling, namely 19 Pembury Crescent Sidcup. In short, Darling and Darkin are up to no good.
I'll creep up first and we'll get the net standing by, because
Oh,
we
yes.
don't want too much mess and fuss.
You can see the lily pads moving there.
Oh, yes, they're feeding well there now. And there's also some goldfish in there.
Oh, lovely.
Might seem a bit off, but it's not cheating. A difficult, skillful cast. Take up the slack. This is quite explosive when it does happen. They suddenly wallop, they're up and gone.
Can I have a cast, yeah?
Yeah, if you fish the other hole. Fish the other hole, by all means.
Check out the other side.
Not gonna rise, John. Look, there it goes. There it goes. Hello, he's wary. Can we have a net so we don't tear this pond apart, please? Right, Terry, in you go. No, just put the net in, I'll guide him in.
Come on, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, put the net down in the water. Right.
There's a bucket there. Put him in the bucket.
Well, it was explosive. It was like attacking a robin's nest with napalm. It had all the gallantry of popping a live hand grenade into an air raid shelter. And doubtless, worthy citizens all over the country are already ringing up their MPs. Anyway, it won no applause from suburbia's silent minority.
There's a thing called a shibunkin.
Yes, John, please, yeah.
Whose nature I don't know yet, but I hope to find out shortly. And there's a tension there.
Who's pinched the bait?
No, I haven't had a bite from here for 5 minutes, so I think I'm going to try around the other bank. I think they're down deep, you know, Dennis.
They are definitely down deep, yeah.
Unethical, maybe, but for this team, the chips are down.
Yeah.
That's not an eel.
It's an eel.
It's not an eel.
It's an eel. 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 Eel.
No way, sunshine. Never you mind what they're saying about you, darling. Jimmy loves you.
And Jimmy never was fussy.
It's not an eel.
Are you listening?
Are
you listening, Gammon? Are you listening?
You want to walk up the other side of it, Jim?
Are you listening, Clive? Oh, John Derrick, John Darling, down in Seaford. No chance. It's little Jim, careful.
Beautifully done, Ian.
He's there.
Beautifully done.
Some dinner.
£8.
Even I'd learned enough by this stage to distinguish another from an eel. In fact, it's a 7.5-pound bass.
You.
That went, didn't it?
Yeah, bloody hell, that wouldn't give it first.
That didn't like it up him, did it?
Oh, dear.
Now Gillespie strikes.
Typical male fullback. Oh, that was.
Quite scrappy this time, aren't they?
Oh, it is back, no one. The one with I'm back. Come on now, come on, that's you.
His next catch looks as though it's come hot foot from the cast of Doctor Who.
You're a little old darling, never so much in my life have I wanted to see a thornback. See you. You
Drag on, Ian.
Anaesthetist.
Those jaws don't work. Hey?
Those jaws crush oyster shells and mussels and whelks and things like that.
In there,
And you'd lose it.
you're very badly off indeed.
That's worth having every rod in and putting a bloody great king rag on it.
Yeah.
Ah!
That's the way.
Perhaps we won't have to bother. Don't go and catch your thornback, Jim. Hey, Jim, you must have got your thornback. I've done it, man. Duplication is no good in this competition.
Best Jim.
No, it's off.
Come up with it.
It's off.
Look at those lovely little eyelids they've got.
By no means a pretty sight, but at least you may now safely call Granny in from the coal shed. The bass, incidentally, was thrown back for reasons of conservation, but the wings of a thornback ray are regarded as a delicacy. I hesitate to mention it, but the implement with which the ray was dispatched is known as a priest, and it is, without doubt, the swiftest and most humane way of killing a fish.
Ian? Ragworm, mate, please.
Meanwhile, 100 miles to the southwest, a small convoy, the journalist team of Gammon and Harris, accelerates along Hampshire roads through what is accepted as the most luxurious fishing ground in the world. The River Test is to anglers what the Riviera is to film actresses in search of a casting couch. Fishing here is a little less than haphazard. The client, after all, pays handsomely, and in return, chance and even probability are reduced to a minimum.
Just below the house, sir. Yeah. Casting from that bit of concrete you can see just behind the rail,
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's it, yeah.
Now, there have been one or two rising. If you cast from there up into the pool, or one of you does that,
yeah.
Then I think you might well get one now. Okay.
As if to confirm the point, Brian Harris hooks a rainbow trout with his very first cast.
I'm damned if I come in as far as this and not have a crack anyway, even though we got one.
Curiously, for a man who's fished all over the world, Gammon has never tried his hand on the test before. Only one rainbow trout is required, but he can't resist the challenge.
It's about 1:45. Very bright afternoon. Brian's already had a fish in a rather indecent hiss, as a matter of fact, before I'd even found somewhere to fish myself. So I'm trying to make up for it. I'm fishing what anglers call the nymph, which is meant to imitate an insect which is coming up from the bottom of the water before it emerges on top and spreads its wings. So that we soak the cast with detergent to make it sink, and the idea is to raise the artificial slightly to make it sort of swim up through the water and make a fish think it's legitimate prey. It's a rather tricky place to cast, up under the trees. You know, he's a bit smaller than Brian's, I think.
Dog, isn't he?
He's got a big team, you know.
What?
I'm being landed.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
We're on 10 now. Yeah, not bad. How big was that one?
2.
He's about the same too.
So Gammon lands his trout, unknown, of course, to the security guard team of Darling and Darkin. John Darling is also after a trout, but in a public reservoir. He's a highly articulate commentator on fishing, though some of his opinions are hardly textbook.
Trout keep down the insect life. Some places they stop with trout just to kill the mosquito larvae which hatch out. It's got an enormous tradition of snobbery trout fishing. In fact, they're very stupid fish, and we're fishing for them in a technique which is more appropriate to mackerel fishing. The mackerel are extraordinarily stupid fish too. But it's a cult, trout fishing, for some people. It used to interest me when I first started trout fishing, but trout are easier to catch when you're there in a water like this where they've got space to become fairly wild and adopt natural feeding habits. Because once you've sussed out what trout are feeding on and how they're feeding and what depth they're feeding and how you are therefore going to present your flies, then you're on to a winner. But this lure dredging, it's called a lure because the fish just snap at it out of whatever motive they feel like. Perhaps they think it's a small fish, perhaps they just feel aggressive. It's not an imitation of any natural food. It's quite a horrible looking thing. Got a shot of it in the water. See how it sinks. It's got life, you see. There's fibres of marabou feather. Got lots of life. Trout are incredibly easy in some waters. Some of the very big reservoirs, like Hanningfield and Graffham, they're 1,000+ acres. The trout that don't have any chance to become educated well, have very little chance, put it that way. They normally see only one fly, and that's the one that kills them. To quote Tom Ivans, who was one of the doyens of trout fly fishing, modern.
This disdain for certain aspects of modern angling hardly does much to cement team spirit.
Seriously, John, you know, say something good about fishing. I disagree with John entirely on most of his thoughts. This is trout fishing almost at its crudest.
I said that.
We're doing it basically because we need to catch fish quickly. You know, trout fishing can be elevated to a very high art, and I really mean it's a high art. I mean, imitations of insects, very delicate presentation, picking the rising fish, watching what the fish are feeding on and imitating it. It can be made extremely difficult and extremely satisfying. There's not a lot to it. It's just hurl it out, let it sink, pull it back, and you carry on like this. They do it on the big reservoirs, and they pull out bags of 30, 40 pound of fish. You know, 8 fish weighing 3 or 4 pounds apiece. But, you know, even so, on these waters, there are other anglers who practice the finer arts, as we like to think of them.
Oh,
boat, Jim.
The mood is altogether more jolly out on the Thames, where the schoolmasters, free from Pythagoras, dinner money, and small children with unpredictable drainage arrangements, are hauling in fish like a pair of unconcerned truants.
I've just cut the line out. Wrap round some other line.
We were in a hell of a tangle. There was just...
Their latest catch is a tope, which Gibbinson clearly fancies for a walk-on part in Son of Jaws.
Do you want to put your tote back?
Yes, I wanted to go back.
There you are.
Come on, you little darling. Back you go.
It's gradually working out, though.
Look at that.
Back at the reservoir, Dennis Darkin, clad to climb Everest, isn't happy with life at all.
Well, if it wasn't for this race effect, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing now. The bay which you see coming up behind us here, we would have come straight over here in the first place, probably dropped anchor, and then fished it, and then worked our way down 100 yards at a time until we found the fish. We've just drifted across the middle of the lake, or middle of the reservoir, which is almost barren of fish, because there's not a lot of food out there. Most of the food's found in the margins, where it shallows off. Just there, in there, feeding on flies and insects. This is bloody awful, this weather, though. It's uncomfortable for fishing, but if it wasn't for the rain, we'd have no water, so mixed blessings, I'm afraid.
They're fishing in the wrong place, and not for the first time TV gets the blame.
So when we were at Bow Beach yesterday, we had the cameraman and the director in the boat, and the crew boat anchored alongside, and we did a gentle pirouette all the way across the reservoir until we managed to cast them free and tell them to go on the bank. Then Dennis said, "Look, John, this is where the fish are. Cast." Well, I had a fish about second cast. That's a rainbow. It's not a bad one. It's not a brilliant size. God, look at that kite on it.
It's a typical Bow Beach trout, that is.
Is it?
Yep. Well done, John.
I said they're as easy as mackerel, you know.
Frontal wave over Seoul moving east, expected 1004 North France by tomorrow morning. Further wave depression 1008 near Cape Farewell, moving steadily east, expected to approach western areas later.
What of Gammon and Harris? Inevitably, they're on the move again. Their latest journey, consuming another precious hour, is taking them to their 6th location of the day.
Incidentally, I've just figured it. We've been fishing about a little more than 10 hours, so we're roughly averaging a species an hour. So if we can keep that up, I can't imagine we can keep that up, but it'd be good.
We've been actually at it, not fishing for 10 hours?
No, most of the time we haven't, in fact, been fishing because we've been travelling. This is our travelling day.
What, 240 odd miles, I'd say?
Something like that, yeah. We've been just bombing them here and there. But over the day, we're averaging a species an hour.
Yeah.
They're bound for Christchurch, lately of Hampshire, now of Dorset, but still a prosperous hunting ground for those in pursuit of grey mullet.
I'm just hoping that what everybody says about it is right.
But while Gammon and Harris are bound for Christchurch, Darling and Darkin have driven even further, from deepest Essex down to Newhaven in Sussex. They too are after grey mullet, and simultaneously, although separated by 85 miles of Channel coast, they start fishing in what is virtually rod-to-rod combat.
We're going to use bread crust again, or bread flake. Drop it down in about 22 foot of water and wait for a mullet to come along.
When it comes along, the float goes down and you strike and miss it.
Or get broken again.
I think I'll have a good go for one of these flounders, because that's a point.
Yeah.
No, 2 bubbles, John. Whilst Dennis is mullet fishing, and before I start mullet fishing, I think I'll put out another rig, a little running ledger, so the fish can take line through this lead. Lead will stay on the bottom. And I get bait it with ragworm, which is a different bait, and appeal to the small mullet and small flounders, maybe small bass even, which you get in most of these harbours. You get a few small pouting as well. And all these little fish, they're each, doesn't matter what size it is, it's still a point. But these ragworm, they certainly wriggle.
The There are backwaters around Christchurch still quite unscathed by a long succession of invaders. The Romans, the Normans, and the American tourist trade. But at this point in the race, ethereal things like changeless beauty and utter serenity are the last that Gammon and Harris want to savour. The question is, who's going to crack the old grey mullet first?
Hello, something's just... Bit of your bread's come up there, look. And a bubble with it. Apparently it's a sure sign of a mullet, a single bubble coming up.
At Newhaven, optimism. At Christchurch, blank faces. At Newhaven, the enemy is sighted.
Get it in your mouth. What a swine. Did you see that? The hook was just outside his lip. Get it down, you boy, get it down, you.
At Christchurch, there's only the ancient priory for company. But suddenly at 5:45, the race is on for all three teams.
All right, then.
Ah, I pulled it out of his mouth, didn't I?
Dropped it past him.
Go on, it's him.
Oh, he nearly went round that bloody anchor.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Oh, you swine. Christ, you mustn't use expressions like that.
Oh, God, look at that, John. Well done, mate.
Net out, Dave. Hold it still. Lift. There you go. Thank God for that.
Well done, well done.
God, I can't believe it.
Jelly bugger. Spat mine out and swallowed yours.
Oh, dear, oh, blind. Feel quite weak in the knees.
A funny shaped bottom lip, Brian.
Yeah. Little point at the top.
I'm not very clued up on mullets, you must understand.
But John Darling is.
Very large scales. Much bigger than a bass. They're quite loose scales, no teeth at all. Very soft, thick lip, that top lip.
It opens right out,
Yeah.
bellows there.
It's a sucking. And when you hook them deep, you see, you've got to pull them up with that flat head against the water. That's one of the reasons why they fight so much. Got this fairly small dorsal back fin, which is spiny. Where they've got any other spines on them. They got when you hook them again deep, that very broad tail. It's rather like a bass or a bonefish even.
Powerful fish.
Powerful. And they really do go, these chaps.
Garfish.
Oh, lovely.
It may look like an eel, but it's not. It's a garfish.
That makes 9.
That's what we wanted.
It's all working according to plan, isn't it? Well done, Garfish. They're fabulous things, aren't they?
Superb.
12 ounces.
Now, if they grew to about 40 pounds in British waters, they'd be quite a few.
This is the bait, put it back.
Yeah?
Flounder!
Back in Newhaven, Darling and Darkin equally can hardly put a foot of line wrong. They brag they catch a flounder and have.
No, how are we going to land it? That's a flounder. But I did say I was going to go after small flounders because that's what we expect to find here. It's not even meal size. In fact,
size, though, I think, John.
yeah, I think that may be 2 points. Catching all the big ones today. All the big
Fantastic fish.
Okay, I think that's enough for here, don't you?
Yep.
Flounder, Jim!
I was just thinking, I bet Darling and Darkin have got a flounder from the beach, and that's a 2-pointer for them, no matter how small it is.
This is a crazy competition, isn't it? Eh? Utterly crazy competition. You're a lovely little fish, but you don't rank in the same class as a 3-pound bass, and here we are chucking them back with disgust and going mad over this. Eh?
The schoolmasters have also gone well in their attempt to depopulate the Thames. Gillespie particularly has such a cheerful affinity with fish that he appears never happier than when he has them crawling all over him. So the Aquamander ploughs back for shore, having confirmed at least half the truth of one of the late Nye Bevan's colourful epigrams. Since Britain is made of coal and surrounded by fish, the old hellraiser said, only an organising genius could produce a shortage of both at the same time. Well, Gillespie and Gibbinson have found no shortage, but there are still 2 days and 2 nights of unbroken angling left in the fishing race. From now on, human stamina will play a big part.
If we don't think the smooth iron prospects increase, I reckon we ought to get in and possibly think about an hour for a mullet somewhere.
Yeah.
In a quiet creek, or in the marina possibly, or something like that.
I think you'd be on a hiding to nothing.
We're on the, well, yeah, maybe, but, or go coarse fishing early. What do you think, Bob?
We're going to have some bass fishing, something to eat.
Clean ourselves up, sort some more tackle out, and down on the rocks.
Yeah.
Hopefully get ourselves a nice bass and a nice big
nice
conger.
Bass and a nice big conger.
That will really crown our day's efforts.
If the luck continues, now we've got, what, 10... No, hold on. 9 species.
We'll be into double figures the next fish.
Yeah. That's not bad, and we've got 2 days ahead of us.
We made an investment of 90 minutes in this fish. I'm not absolutely sure yet whether it was a wise investment. We'd probably get 2 points with any luck at all. So it's equivalent to catching 2 new species in a sense of a small fish. It's hard to know. It was very pleasant, if frustrating hour or two.
Well, we're planning to go out on a boat this evening, just to see if we can get some bass and maybe a thornback, some pollock. Just depends on the weather, really.
A little brisk.
But we're happy enough, I think.
Not even the lure of sustenance, however, can waver the determination of our first team, a pair of Essex schoolmasters named Jim Gibbinson and Ian Gillespie. Their addiction is fish. As their gilly drops anchor after an 18-hour sweep in the Thames estuary, Gibbinson weighs up whether fishing the world's busiest metropolitan waterway has actually paid off.
10 certain, 12 probable.
Yeah, it's not been as good as it might have been, but, you know, it might have been magnificent, but it's been good.
It's been good.
It certainly hasn't been a failure, has it?
No, it's been hard work, but most of the plans have come off.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, disappointing about the smooth hounds.
Yeah, never mind. Can't win them all. £20 carp tonight, if we can keep awake. Right, we'll call it a day then. OK.
Another small example of angling mendacity. They've no intention of calling it a day at all. Quite a few times during the fishing race, I got the feeling that anglers lie because they're convinced it fools the fish. Meanwhile, we meet our second team, journalists Clive Gammon and Brian Harris, together with their gilly Dave Collier, stealing out into the Solent from Lymington. Gammon is wrestling with the laws of slander.
Really, we've fallen on a kind of, how do I put it without actually incurring a court action? We've fallen upon the kind of guy that ruins many a weekend for a lot of people in Britain. You know, the kind of couldn't-care-less skipper who hasn't seen fit to provide any bait, put us at a spot. Also, the weather's cutting up a little bit. This man was contacted and asked whether it was fit to go out an hour before we sailed. He said it was, and now clearly we're not going to get to the marks we wanted to. So this is a bit of a letdown.
In fact, after a frustrating day, it's more than that. It's a mutinous evening off the needles. Unlike the schoolmasters, the journalists couldn't find time for a dummy run. Now, without bait, a catch, or even the prospect of one, dejection sets in.
It's very shallow. Anything goes wrong at this stage, you've had it, you know, really.
So how long will he give it?
No, another 40 seconds, I was thinking, in terms of that kind of thing. Yeah. Not even that. I've had it. Yeah. Finito.
So, with a flourish of elegant Spanish, Gammon accepts the Solent as unmitigated disaster and winds in. Precious time has been lost, and all they can do is cut their losses and grab some sleep. Gammon particularly needs it. 2 days ago, he was fishing in Florida, and he's been up 2 nights in a row. Harris joins him in oblivion. For the moment, they're content to let the schoolmasters get on with it.
I'd like to fish tonight, but I think we've got to save some of our joint energies for tomorrow. You know, if you fish right through the night, haven't fished all day as well.
I might do a bit of
you're going
kipping
to be
tomorrow.
shattered by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and I may do a bit of kipping while you're fishing
We
tomorrow.
may need to fill in a few blanks, so rather than both go down there, I think we'll split our energies. I think that'd be a wise idea.
Okay, look.
A classic British interpretation of democracy, since Gillespie intends to get his head down while his partner trudges off on night shift. Gibbonson's quarry during the coming chilly hours will be carp and tench.
It'll all be over by the time you come down, Gillespie.
I've heard it all before, mate.
It'll all be over and done
Don't
with.
forget, if you weaken, just say Golden Maggot 3 times and that'll bring you to your senses.
Right. See you in the morning.
Get raced down.
Yep.
Anyone stumbling inadvertently across our third team might well have thought of words like smuggling, gun running or illegal immigrants. In fact, John Darling and Dennis Darkin are slithering down the cliffs at Seaford in the perfectly lawful pursuit of bass. With surprising generosity, John Darling reveals some of the tricks.
The secret of this fishing is to cast out just beyond the rocks, because the congers and the bass and all the fish move in very close, about 30 or 40 yards. It's quite ample. And it's really, really rough ground. We lose a lot of tackle. Mind you, we catch a lot of fish. For the conger, we're going to use baby squids, which we bought in the tackle shop this afternoon. I think they're imported from China or somewhere, or Canada. At the present time, the squids are moving inshore to spawn, and the congers quite expect to find them. They're very partial to squid. At the present time also, there's a lot of crab inshore, and the bass are very partial to those. Right, short lob, and a great big lump of squid. One of the secrets of rock fishing is not to tighten up after you've cast, because by doing that, you just drag the lead and the bait into the nearest snag.
Darling's an authority on bait. Here he's looking for peeler crabs, which have the same effect on bass as Jingle Bell ice cream vans have on school children. The only way a crab can expand is to shed its hard shell from time to time and grow another one.
The interesting thing is that the way it does it, it cracks all the way around the back here. In fact, I'll crack it for it. And it hinges. And there you have the brand new shell underneath, brand new skin. When the crab molts, it casts off its eyes, the lens of its eyes, the gills which are inside here, what they call the dead men's fingers in the fishmonger, when talking about the edible crab. And it sheds the teeth which line its stomach. This particular chap is a velvet swimming crab, very good for bass bait. That's really, I suppose, what fishing's all about. This must be about 80% natural history and about 20% technique, you know, casting, knowing your knots and rubbish like that. Yeah, I've got a fish. Yeah? There's interest.
If you're still doing it in a quarter of an hour's time. Is it a fish?
I think it could be. Doesn't feel like waves.
Fishing off the rocks on a rising tide can be a dangerous business.
I don't really like it down here at night because it's pretty dangerous. If I was to slip and break a limb or even be knocked unconscious, then, you know, I could end up with crab food. In fact, I found a bloke kind of stiff lying in one of these rock pools one afternoon. Not entirely sure where he came from, but when the police came down here, they told me he wasn't the one they were looking for.
And that, incidentally, was no fisherman's tale. Back with the schoolmasters in Essex, a solitary skylark heralds the dawn of day 2 of the fishing race. For all 3 teams, reality is now replacing euphoria. It may not exactly be hell at the front, but it's cold and there's still 36 hours of non-stop fishing to go. Ian Gillespie, anyway, has been able to snatch 4 hours sleep before going back to end his partner's shivering vigil.
Morning, Jim.
Hi, Ian.
All right, mate?
Yes, fine, mate.
How you getting on?
Well, while you've been kipping in the caravan, the other half of this team's been working, Sunshine.
Good boy, Jim. What you got?
No, it's not spectacular, but worth having. Little old pike.
Big enough, little mate. Darling, that'd be all right. But yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's nice.
That'll
That's
do for a
point.
kick-off,
Put
wouldn't it?
that on for live bait.
Yeah. Let's see what we've got.
What the hell was that?
That's all right, you just knocked that one.
Did I?
That'll be all right, no problem.
Where's he going?
3 1/4. Now the tench, one's a very little one, he's not worth weighing. He's a chubby little mini male. Look at those damn great fins there. Big scallop-shaped fins.
Smash it up, mate.
Anyway, little mini one, we won't bother to weigh him, not worth it.
He's worth everything, boy. He's a point, isn't he?
Back go the fish, duly weighed for the purposes of this competition, which may just appease those who find the whole concept of catching fish abhorrent. There were times during the fishing race when I found it unattractive too, but that had less to do with any principle than a total failure to understand the appeal of what is without question the world's most popular recreation. 20 times as many people fish as play football, and that's not counting the professionals. I enjoyed the scenery and the company. I admired the skill and was impressed that, far from indulging in indiscriminate slaughter, most of the contestants were expert naturalists with a real concern for conservation. What did surprise me, though, were their fiercely competitive attitudes. They were more tense than pot-hunting golfers and as swift to blame someone else as a beaten English soccer team. It had little to do, I felt, with angling as portrayed by the great Izaak Walton. But in the end, I suspect my main objection was purely personal. It was also uncomfortable. As one who feels that the 7th day might have been better employed fitting the countryside with bathrooms and wall-to-wall carpets, I was never completely in tune with men who can sleep fully dressed where they fall.
He's not very big, is he? I don't think he is bigger than Jim's. If anything, he's smaller. Yeah.
It's a pike, but they don't need it. The whole point of the fishing race was not how many fish, but how many species, and Jim Gibbinson already has a bigger one.
No, it's all right.
From their debacle in the Solent, Gammon and Harris have now moved further west to the Avon near Ringwood. Here, after a short sleep in their van, they can once more appreciate some of the beauties of nature. A lady chaffinch and a more readily identifiable cow. Harris, not wishing to be caught unawares by one of his readers, prepares for the day.
Morning, Chief.
Morning. Once more, the intrepid fisherman.
You don't have a bread knife with you, Paul?
A bread knife?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we've got a bread knife, Dan.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You don't eat as well as fish, do you?
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah,
Will that do?
That'd be lovely.
The only
Thanks very
sharp
much.
knife.
Yeah, lovely. Oh, we have fried bread, you see, as well.
Can we come over?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
For fried bread?
Yeah. Well, you mean you invite yourself for fried bread? No, I'm afraid. No, not this morning. Every calorific, you know, whatever it is of energy we have to measure out, and an extra piece of fried bread might foul up the roach fishing early on, you know?
Highly scientific.
Assailed by jet lag and nomadic living, Gammon comes to more slowly. For a man whose reputation has been made assembling words into something close to real literature, he's temporarily finding it hard to remember half a dozen that even make sense. Everything this morning is relative.
And there's a relatively clean knife.
Lovely.
There's one knife missing.
At Hambledon Weir, too, it's another of those glorious mornings for which the summer of 1975 will remain justifiably famous. For Darkin and Darling, however, it might just as well be November. They drew a blank in their search for bass and conger, and their navigation on the overnight drive from Seaford has been so abysmal that had it been wartime, they'd have bombed Cardiff instead of Berlin.
Well, lads.
Morning, what happened?
Just got here.
Why are you 2 hours late this morning?
I was the driver. I woke up at 5 o'clock and we're still 40 miles away.
Royalty looked lovely this morning.
What happened?
I think that's where he's been. What did happen, Terry?
Well, we cut across country.
Yeah.
And English roads aren't very good. Simple as that, really.
For all the tribulations, Dennis Darkin looks amazingly fresh, in distinct contrast, that is, to his companion.
7 o'clock. Right, we're supposed to be in at 5, 2 hours ago. Yeah. Why are we late?
Fog, mainly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not Terry Hill's bad
Well, he
driving.
tried some shortcuts across country, didn't work.
Yeah, I've been kept waking up by, trees hitting this thing.
Trees hitting the top, yeah.
We got bread, we got maggots, we got worms, we got sausage meat. No, we got luncheon. What have we got?
Luncheon meat.
Luncheon meat. We got a nice can of luncheon meat that they seem to favour on the stretch. The barbels seem to favour. Getting dyslexic again through fatigue.
In case you couldn't catch that, since poor Gammon is still having word permutation problems, I'll repeat it. I'm getting dyslexic again through fatigue.
Sorry.
Just put up a homemade salmon spinning rod with a crank handle and a multiplying reel and a 14-pound monofilament line. And I'm going to fish shrimps because in the summer, the clear water salmon, which have been in the river for a little while, tend not to take very easily because they don't really feed anywhere in the river. We're just trying to lure them, and the shrimp seems to pull them when other things don't. Even a prawn sometimes frightens them away, but they'll take a shrimp. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Sorry, my old owl got a wet backside.
Once we get settled out there, John, we can reposition everything.
We've got torn jeans and a wet jacksie.
Back at Hambledon Weir, John Darling's finally been convinced it's no longer night and joined Dennis Darkin in a downriver search for anything that moves underwater. Brought together by their jobs, they're both security guards in Whitehall, they have an almost archetypal British friendship. Only rarely do they agree about anything.
Yes? God, what is minnow, species. Don't lose it. It is a minnow. That's a minnow. Great stuff.
Yeah, minnow. A minnow.
You won't be able to keep him in a net. We want a witness for that.
We got a minnow. What do you got?
Dunno.
Could be a barbel.
Could be.
Can't tell, really. Chub. How's he going, well, isn't he? Well, he's got all the carrots.
Oh, it's a pike.
Pike.
Get the net, John. Sink the net. Right, hold it there. I'll bring him into
ready
it.
when you are. Right, no, not quite. A bit more. That's it.
Lovely.
Well done.
Right, that's another one. Right, in we come.
How's that? A modest pike. With enormous skill, we've caught the most elusive of all British freshwater species, a minnow. It's a fully grown bull minnow.
Does that count as one of the species?
Yeah. You saw me land it. A very small hook, size 16, single maggot, very light line. Mind you, not that makes any difference because they're as stupid as anything and you can catch them out by the dozen on the most coarse tackle. Good, skillful freshwater angling, that was.
So the minnow is granted his freedom, and John Darling gives us more natural history about the pike.
Some people eat these, but they're absolutely full of little bones. And something this size would be, you know, too much hard work to bother about. Got very sharp teeth. Had to get they're rather vicious chaps when they get about, you know, decent size, about 20 pounds. It's shaped like a dart. It's built for very fast acceleration on small fish. You see the two fins here, the tail, that's where the power comes from. It's fairly broad tail. It's a bit ragged, actually. Probably been working hard for its minnows.
Normally one would fish all day for salmon throughout the river, but as we're on a fishing race...
A curious remark by Brian Harris, as it turns out. Race or no race, the challenge of a salmon starts to dominate his day. Plans go overboard, strict timetables are ignored as his stay becomes a vigil and determination crosses the border into obsession. It's now around 10 a.m. as Harris makes his first cast for a salmon. But then we go to lunch, Harris stays. His partner deserts him, Harris stays. All over southern England, fish are biting or surrendering like starlets who would do anything for a bit part on television. All that is, except the salmon of the Avon. And yet, still, Harris stays.
That landed a little bit low down, but we'll see what happens. I got a shrimp on. It's just dragging along the bottom, moving gently. Nothing happening at all at the moment.
At this point, Gibbinson had hoped to show the difference between roach and rudd, but the rudd isn't having any.
It was the rudd. Risky little thing. Now on this one, you can... I'd like it to lay still. You can see the leading edge of the ventral fins is here. The leading edge of the dorsal fin is here. You see, they're not in alignment. Very subtle difference.
I'm not used to these funny scaly coarse fish. I don't know. No, it's a small fish. What?
He's holding it like that.
It's a small fish or something. Very small fish. Big fish. Maybe a chub.
He's got you into some weed down here.
Not seriously.
No, go downstream.
Got it?
Nice chop. Very nice chop.
Oh, yeah.
Back on the Avon, still no salmon. But for Gammon, the luncheon meat has worked wonders. A chub.
Well done, Clive.
What?
Well done.
Look our chub average up a little bit.
2 3/4, I'd say.
Yeah.
Nice fish. Lovely condition, isn't he?
Mm.
Very nice.
Just look at this. Look at this. It's a long keep net, but look at these. Look at these little jewels, Jim. Little jewels.
They've got points written all over
Yeah,
them.
they certainly have. Now, where's that one we struggled for? Look at that, boy.
Perch.
A real live little perch.
They are like
Go
gold
on, you little
dust
darling.
nowadays.
In you go. Smashing. Now then, Jim. Now then. A real live bream, look. Eh?
I'm glad you caught it, Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
A contribution, however
Damn good.
small. And just to prove that it was no fluke, I got an even bigger bream, Jim, eh? Bigger one, eh? There she goes. And I assumed you'd get rudd, but I kept these just in case you really didn't quite manage it. There they are. How's
Lovely.
that? Little darlings. Off you go.
Lovely.
Right.
Well done, Ian.
No breakfast. Canvey. Getting near to collapse, are you?
For those of you coming new to the fishing race, which is reprehensible since this is already the 5th of 6 gripping instalments, I'll introduce the teams as we go along. This van is bringing a pair of Essex schoolmasters to what would seem as likely a spot for catching fish as Fort Knox. Nevertheless, Jim Gibbinson and his partner have their heads screwed on.
I've just seen a cart moving over there. Look at that damn thing boiling.
Yeah.
Just seen a cart moving on it. I'm going to stick a crust across him just before he shifts.
We'll do this.
God, isn't he? He is, don't blame him. It's a nice fish. He's points hungry.
Fishing race regulars, of course, will recognise this as Brian Harris, whom we left last week trying to coax a salmon from the River Avon. Despite the frenetic nature of the competition, he's still adamant he won't take no for an answer. This, temporarily, has not endeared him to his partner, Clive Gammon, who's fled, nor to a gilly who sees his role as team manager. Watching you with them, like shooing them off to bed as early as you could possibly get them last night, you strike me as almost a sort of Don Revie of this setup. You know, you're ordering them around, you're bullying them around,
Well,
you're
not
coaching
really.
Clive.
Not really, but Clive is, I think he would agree, primarily a sea angler. And all I've been doing is sort of making a few suggestions. I hope I haven't been bullying him.
But Clive was just beginning to enjoy a couple of large scotches there last night. I mean, he wasn't doing
Well, he
any
had a
driving.
couple of large scotches, let's face it. Did he need a third?
Yes, he did. By this stage, we all did. However, let's return to England's reply to Fort Knox, which in fact is a holiday camp on Canvey Island, still actually dedicated to the proposition that the customer's right. If the customer wants ducks, he gets a convoy of ducks. If he wants fish, as the shrewd Gillespie well knows, they're available. Yet without chips, they still have to be caught. And nerves by this sleepless stage of the race are getting ragged.
Well done, boy. Well done.
Damn! Damn! Damn!
And again, Jim.
A carp. A flaming carp. After how long? About a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes fishing?
I put near 36 hours, Jim, actually.
As Gillespie points out, the race has now been on for 36 hours, but the contestants, apart from perhaps 3 or 4 hours snatched here and there, have been on their feet for nearer 50. One man, Clive Gammon, last saw a reel bed 3 nights ago in Florida. It's on the River Stour in Dorset that he's now hoping to catch the fish which his partner, Brian Harris, is so obviously not catching on the Avon. His methods of attracting them struck me as being well outside the spirit of cricket.
Are we still feeding them?
They're a nice steady stream of maggots, they should be going all right, Clive. Well, what's happening is that the maggots there gradually crawl off this bit of ironwork down onto the water and then run down into where Clive's fishing so that the fish come to expect them. If you see they're dropping over the edge. And they gradually work their way off it. Which is not particularly nice if you happen to be a maggot, but it does make for catching fish.
Well, without actually advocating civil rights for maggots, I found this all rather nauseating. It can be argued, I suppose, that their life expectancy wasn't very long anyway. But Gammon's use of maggots in this way does illustrate the real urgency which is now creeping into the race. Even the normally laconic John Darling of our third team has been getting despondent at Hambledon Weir.
We were just about to pack up when it came along here and we saw a shoal of chub just over this gravel bar here. There's a gravel bar up there. Now this side there's, well, 2 or 3 shoals actually. And Dennis is at the moment having a go for them with a dry fly. And if he fails on that, I shall have a go for them with a piece of bread. There's, of course, if they're feeding. But it's one species we rather need.
I think your flake's best, John.
Sorry?
I think your flake would be best.
Bait?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your flake's the best answer. If you can get it out there, flake. I'm going to go down below so you've got to push a line up to it.
We leave John Darling and return to the River Stour, where, not for the first time in the fishing race, hostilities have broken out between the anglers and the television crew filming them. One got the impression that Clive Gammon was venting on TV the frustration built up by his partner's obsession with salmon. Aggravated, he stomps away from the riverbank and then slumps into his car while his gilly Dave Collier sees fit to brush aside a microphone and reprove the cameraman in a manner which comes easily to drill sergeants and butlers when not addressing their superiors. The fact is, of course, that everyone is now thoroughly tired. All the anglers wanted to do was shake off their shadows, to which end Collier, leaving no message where they were heading, suddenly let in the clutch and roared off in high dudgeon.
There we are, chub. Not the biggest chub I've caught, mind you. Decent chub is a 4 or 5 pounder. Oh, yes. It's a chob. That's 12. We're 4 behind Gillespie. And that other fellow...
They've turned it in, I think. Well, they've gone to Little Hampton. So we get those other 4 this afternoon.
Have they really?
Yeah.
God.
Don't you remember they said that they were allowing to have a good rest before the last day?
Oh, yeah.
So are they happier now?
Feel a bit happier than we were.
We're back in the race now, I think.
We're back in the race.
But they're 4 down on the race leaders.
Yes,
yeah, we haven't finished, have we?
We haven't finished. We've got the whole of the afternoon ahead of us. After lunch, after a good lunch, and a couple of drinks, we shall be fighting fit again, clawing our way above the leaders.
So John Darling and his partner Dennis Darkin dash off to try their luck on the Avon. In contrast, peace continues to reign at Canvey Island, where the schoolmasters know the wisdom of that excellent piece of philosophy first propounded by the late Ernest Hemingway. Never confuse movement with action. Patiently, Gillespie continues his search for a carp.
Carp are quiet, big fish which move stealthily in beautiful, quiet, misty waters, and they've got all the ingredients for mystique, but like most fish, if the angler is good enough and he can see through the mystique and yet enjoy some of it, contribute to it even, most fish are not entirely unpredictable. The thing about carp is that they learn very fast. Carp in water, once caught, don't tend to make the same mistake again. Therefore, hard-fished public waters are usually full of carp which are very well aware of what an angler's line looks like when it hits the water, if it hits it in too splashy a fashion. They're also capable of reaction pretty firmly to baits which they've found on the bottom which have done them injury before. I think they do associate taking certain tasty or smelly things with pain.
Gillespie's eloquence on the subject of carp seems to double his partner's determination to catch one. In this hardly pastoral setting, Jim Gibbonson's style is fascinating. It appears to owe less to the fishing manuals than to Muhammad Ali's method of quartering a boxing ring to stalk down a lively opponent for the kill.
They're so small.
Yeah, another look at common.
Any bigger than this, the biggest one, isn't it? No?
Yeah, you're first, Here they come, the little lovelies.
Right, let's have a look at that little one.
They're not big, but they're points.
Rub out of the way for a minute. 2 commons and a leather.
Yeah, this is interesting. They're all carp.
God, that leather go.
All fast-growing king carp. These are only young. Whereas these are completely covered with scales. These, which were originally bred for the table, almost scaleless. They were originally bred for the table like this because they're easier to prepare. The housewife hasn't got to descale them and so on. And on the continent, they prefer to buy these for food. And these were the sort of original variety that they were bred from.
Not a bad haul from a holiday camp. By limiting travel and working territory they know well, they're probably in better physical shape than the other teams. How do they see their chances?
I think really we've milked it as much as we could have done.
We might have had a bit more luck at sea. Perhaps we could have got a smooth hound and a few other species might have turned up. But when you reckon that we've got 11 freshwater species, 10 sea species, and the possibility of 2 game species, I reckon to turn up there with 23 points species definitely is going to give them a run for their money. They may be well along the same lines if they've had the kind of reasonable progress that we've had. The thing that's going to bother me most now is a long drive down to Littlehampton, you know.
Yeah.
All our plans have worked pretty well. All our plans have worked pretty well.
Yeah. No need to revert to plan B. We won't have to call off at Fisheries on the way down.
No, we can forget them, can't we?
That's out the window. We'll do it
Yeah.
all fair from now on. No worms at Hanningfield. No, straight as a die.
These pictures come to you only by courtesy of Clive Gammon, whose gilly we last saw accelerating into anonymity. Fortunately, Gammon ordered him to stop and be gracious enough to inform the chroniclers of this race where they were going. This, for worse rather than for better as it turned out, is it. It's only a few miles further up the Star, but for Gammon, there's now only one priority.
Well, it doesn't matter what time. You know, it's more important we catch fish and worry about Brian and his obsession.
Harris, as we know by now, will not be moved. Gammon's hurry to get here was not wholly wild inspiration. Back on the Star, the bailiff had tipped him off that for anyone in search of rudd, this place was a combination of Mecca and Piccadilly Circus. A young lad named Colin, apparently, had been pulling them out by the dozen. By sheer chance, I assure you, Colin turns up.
Oh, are you Colin? Are you the boy that was fishing? Oh, now, where do you get all your rudd from here?
There's no rudd in here.
No rudd?
No.
What's in here, then?
Carp and tench.
So?
Yes.
Well, we were told it was rudd and perch.
Well, that was before the weed killer was put in.
The what?
A weed killer.
A weed killer?
Yes, and it killed most of the fish.
Oh. Thanks very much for letting me know about that.
By some superhuman effort, Clive Gammon, Welshman, writer, and ultimately a fatalist, just fails to explode. Let us make our excuses swiftly and leave, and come just a few miles down the road to the royalty fishery, Christchurch. Darling and Darkin have just arrived here from Hamilton Weir, and it's their last location before tomorrow's ultimate fling in the Channel. You'd not mistake them for Morecambe and Wise.
John, you're beginning to look a bit tired and tetchy, and as though almost you wished you hadn't come.
I won't say that. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling a bit tetchy. It's been a great strain, actually, for the last 48 hours.
What's been the biggest strain of all?
Oh, they're fishing for camera without a shadow of doubt.
That's fair, but by now it's taken as read that Darkin will disagree with Darling's assessment.
No, the TV's got nothing to do with it, quite honestly. It's the pressure is on to catch fish and beat the opposition. And believe it or not, this is only the second match I've ever fished. I don't normally do match fishing. I fish for pleasure only. And I don't think I've really got, at this stage, I don't think I've quite got the temperament for it. You know, the pressure's definitely beginning to tell on me. And, you know, again, I rather feel, maybe I'm being a bit unfair here, that I'm getting the dirty end of the stick all the time. I'm having to sit with the driver navigating while John sleeps. I take him to a spot which I planned on, you know, worked out, went to sea, arranged boats for, and he catches the damn fish. Well, that, but it does gall, let's be honest, it does gall. It sticks in my throat a little bit.
There's still a long time to go, but you really are looking pretty dejected. You haven't given up or anything, have you?
Oh, blimey now, this is what's making me feel dejected. I'm working extremely hard, and it's just not going my way, I'm afraid. Thank goodness, you know, it's going John's way, so not all is not lost.
Does that upset you, though? I mean, you're working as a team. Does it upset you that you as an individual aren't doing quite what maybe you'd like to do?
Oh, naturally, yes, I like to catch fish. I mean, I've been planning with Terry mainly for 3 months or more, and having done all that work, chasing around all over the country and God knows what else, losing sleep, spending hours on the phone, all this sort of thing, chatting to friends, getting people to help us. I don't catch the fish. But never mind, I mean, we're getting them. I'm just disappointed mainly that we're not in the lead.
To men who've known war, or scaled the Eiger's north face, or fought for a world heavyweight title, or rode the Atlantic, any talk of physical strain in a fishing race must, of course, sound ludicrous. Our friend Brian Harris, for example, has barely stretched a muscle all day. Still, he can be accused of neither quitting nor ransacking natural resources. In the end, it's 14 hours before he turns and wades downstream to a Boy Scouts dinner, having caught nothing. I rather admired his stubbornness, though it could hardly be claimed it had contributed much to a team effort. How important is it for you at this stage to win this thing? I mean, does there come a point when you just say, well, you know, that was a couple of days fun, but I can give this away?
It doesn't really matter to me whether I win or not. I wouldn't like to be absolutely thrashed. I'm sure Clive wouldn't. None of us would like to be absolutely thrashed, but being beaten is something which you know, anglers have all the time. You're being beaten by the fish all the time. We've been beaten by them in the river today.
What do you think this film does for fishing? Does it really create interest, do you think, among general public, or does it point out the fact that perhaps you're odd characters in some way?
I don't think we're odd at all. We go fishing to enjoy things, to enjoy the waterside, to understand it, to understand the fish and the animals that inhabit the waterside. We see much more of life, you know, than the man in the street does in general, in common with people who go shooting, for example. You know, I think that fishing is a way of life, and lots of people who don't go fishing can't understand it, but then I don't understand golf and other games, you know, but we all do our own things, and this is the way we do it.
But here you are as an intelligent adult doing a responsible job, and you've spent over 14 hours out there now with, to be quite honest, very little to show for it. Do you think that sort of justifies itself in the way we all live? Is that a justifiable way to spend a day, do you think?
Indeed it is. You know, all these guys around here have been doing the same thing. I've been enjoying myself, they've been working.
From Harris, anyway, an unsolicited tribute to the television crews equally out on their feet. Meanwhile, the schoolmasters are at Hanningfield Reservoir, their last venue before the Channel. They go after a rainbow trout to the strains of a very Caucasian spiritual.
I'm always chasing rainbows and those great big brownies too. I could do with a nice 6-pound fish. Very old brown will do.
Their last cast of the day literally lands them their rainbow trout.
Well done, Skipper. Well done. Well done. Is it slightly bigger than the other one?
Oh, yes.
Excellent. A step. A definite step in the right direction.
£1.5-ish.
Can't make it any more.
They don't come any isher than that.
Can't make it any more. Never mind, never mind.
It was an 11th hour fish as well,
Yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
was indeed, yeah. One first cast, one last cast, and nothing in between.
That's right, you know. That's just how it was.
Darling and Darkin fish on. They're lying third. With 16 species, they're 3 behind Gammon and Harris, 5 behind Gillespie and Gibbinson.
That's no chub, surely. Bream. Good Lord.
The bream adds no points because they've already got one. Despite their long friendship, Darling, with his studiously camouflaged ambition, and Darkin, with his overt hatred of losing, struck me as being the least compatible of the teams. It's only now that they even agree on how they feel.
Shattered.
Absolutely shattered, yeah. We're heading home now, I think, for a nice sleep.
And tomorrow,
what, the boat fishing?
The boat.
Yeah, it'll all happen tomorrow. It must do it. It can't keep on like this. The bream from the roll, she's ridiculous. But
Any plans for tomorrow? Any special plan of action?
No, we've got plenty of good baits. We're going to keep chopping and changing around and see what comes. It's not really my forte, boat fishing at the sea. So maybe I'll come up trumps for it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right, like me in the coarse fishing.
At this point in the fishing race, Team Enterprise should count for nothing anymore. There are 12 hours left, and all three teams now have to drive across England, link up at Littlehampton, and spend them fishing from the same boat in the Channel. Gammon and Harris and Darling and Darkin are neck and neck. Gibbinson and Gillespie are just ahead of them. Everything then rests on the final day from the boat. For Gillespie and Gibbinson, though, there's just one final dubious call to make on the way.
Now then, Bob, this is the last one on the list before Littlehampton, right?
Yeah.
Jim has flaked right out. He's finished. So am I, but I just couldn't overlook this. We had to do this one because I know that Darling, Darkin, Gammon and Harris, they don't even know the existence of this water, let alone fish it, or what's in it, right? So this is the ace. 2 certain points.
Magic.
Beautiful, beautiful. Great stuff. Now this afternoon I kept back a little bit of Jim's special, what's he call it, US carp bait or something, isn't it? Right, I put up on that rock, look, up that corner.
That bit of mud?
That's it. That's not mud, that's...
It's the magic.
He's worked for years on this, boy. Worked for years on it. Never did he, even Jim, think it would be put to the use that I'm going to put it to.
Well, that catches carp.
Our carp are not in this. As I told you, 2 points for a certainty. I had to keep this quiet, Bob. I couldn't tell you anything about this, which was the ace in the hole. Nobody, but nobody, knows about this.
Dark
we'll have that out there.
Dark
Likely looking spot.
Are they shy feeders, or do you reckon it's going to go?
Got him! There we are now, Bob. Tell me what that is.
No.
That was quietly done, wasn't it?
What the devil is that?
That's the new British record rod caught piranha.
How a piranha, albeit only a toy town piranha, came to be at large in metropolitan Essex must, I fear, remain a dark secret. Littlehampton in Sussex, 6:30 a.m. on a chromium bright summer's day, the last leg of the 60-hour non-stop fishing race. The bishop who wrote that brightest and best are the sons of the morning got it wrong. We've snatched the odd hour's sleep over the past 3 nights and 2 days, but for most of us, fried eggs are hard to look straight in the eye and the coffee cups tremble slightly. For the past 48 hours, the 3 teams have chased independently all over southern England in search of different species of fish. Now, for the remaining 12 hours, they've come together. They're to fish from the same boat under the same conditions in the English Channel. Physically, how do you feel? I know you've had, what, about 5 hours sleep and 60 or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel all right now. Last night I was 1 step removed from being delirious, actually, but I'm okay now.
Normality,
you mean? Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
Dennis, can you see it through?
Oh, I'll see it through. Once I'm out in the fresh air, we'll be away again. Definitely.
Yes, you recover in the morning, so quite quickly, in fact.
Sure. John?
Once I'm catching some miniature sea fish, I'll be quite happy. The old adrenaline will be going. I'll be notching up point and laughing at Gibbinson and Gammon. Grand fun.
Oh, yeah.
You've been living very close together under what's now becoming a bit of stress. You're all a bit tired. How have you got on as team partners?
Well, we're very happy about that.
No stress whatsoever.
We've had no conflict at all, none at all.
John and Dennis?
We've not been talking for the last 8 years. We've had some most diabolical good luck. We've had the most diabolical bad luck.
Have you had any arguments?
Not really.
No arguments, no.
I got told off yesterday for not catching an extra 6 species, but...
Just that we had key species, 2 which I hooked and promptly got broken on, and I felt a bit down on that, you know.
You look a bit like Sutcliffe and Hobbs. How have you got on?
Oh, he's very good. He obeys orders, you know. Yeah, takes it very well.
I smacked his wrist yesterday and he lost a barbel.
He's been very, very good.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, as returning officer for this competition, the points at the moment, Gammon and Harris, 28, Gibbinson and Gillespie, 35, Darling and Darkin, 17. But I think it's worth pointing out that Gibbinson and Gillespie have got 10 of their bonus points from C species. Now, are you all happy about that scoring with 12 hours to go?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what you could do, Ian. Perfect tactic. Insist on going to loo. 6 hours steaming there, 6 hours steaming back.
We didn't think of that, did we, boys?
Okay, gentlemen, all agreed. Last lap coming up. Let's go.
Okay.
May the best man win.
The destination, as we put to sea at the Pathfinder, is an area some 11 miles off the English coast within sight of the hour's light. By now, having witnessed them under considerable pressure, the contestants have emerged as definable characters. Ian Gillespie, gregarious, optimistic, practical. The sort of man you'd like at your shoulder if the worst happened and you really did find yourself on a desert island. Jim Gibbinson, like his partner Gillespie, a schoolmaster. At this moment, a somewhat seasick schoolmaster, determined, overtly keen to win. Clive Gammon, despite the appearance of an Old Testament prophet, he was promoted European editor of the American magazine Sports Illustrated actually during the fishing race. A Welshman not given to suffering fools at all. Brian Harris, Gammon's partner and editor of Angling magazine. Neat, precise, an undiscovered walking advertisement for aftershave lotion. Underneath it, tough and stubborn. The final team, Dennis Darkin, who openly describes himself as a bad loser, and John Darling, an Oxford graduate not given to taking life seriously. Both are government security guards, and they trail the field.
Dave, what's the depth, mate?
The depth? 12 fathoms. Look.
On the way out to the battleground, all three teams set about catching bait. Not in this case sprats to catch mackerel, but mackerel to catch something bigger. To the uncommitted observer, this seemed a pretty deplorable business, particularly so soon after breakfast. Dumping one line with 6 hooks over the side and wiping out whole families of mackerel to stroke struck me as being less sport than culpable piscicide. However, pale liberalism has no place in a fishing boat.
Sorry, John. Jason's here, the cameraman.
But what soon becomes clear is that 2 of the competitors are not after mackerel. When caught red-handed by the cameras, they didn't even seek to deny it. Brian Harris's only concession was to lower his voice to a conspiratorial whisper.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to do, actually, is to catch some gurnard and some pouting over this ground, which we think are there, and also some black bream, which give us 3 quick points. So I've got long flowing trace on pieces of squid and fish. And while the others are fishing for mackerel, we're trying to cut a corner.
But Harris isn't the only man trying to cut corners. Across the boat, Gillespie, apparently taking opposition duplicity for granted, is doing precisely the same. He's rewarded with a dogfish.
Dog.
Dog?
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Not a big one, but it'll keep them busy. One more they got to get. We didn't bother with those. We knew we'd get them, didn't we? Scales. One's fresh food, one's full of water. I'll keep it that way up so it doesn't leak. Yes.
The bank that they cut that.
You gonna
Well, if you like, we'll give it a 15-minute drift.
Yeah.
And then we put the grapples down into the bank.
All right. Sorry?
Will you lift your lines now, gentlemen, please, and we'll get underway.
What species are on the bank?
Gurnard, pout, pollock, tope, smoothhound.
Any bream there?
Well, yes, there should be some bream along there. We're hoping that there should be some of the big cock bream along there anyway.
With this.
Right. I'll put a 15 minutes this side of the wreck and then you can drift on down to it.
So, with Pathfinder still not at the main target area, Gillespie and Gibbinson have already widened their lead by 2 further points. You seem to be using some pretty hard delaying tactics. What actually were you doing during that bait catching session?
Well, they weren't exactly delaying tactics, but the opportunity obviously arose to diversify a bit, so we left Jim snatching out the bait, and I quietly went onto a much larger piece of bait, drifting along the bottom, with the hope of picking up one of the species that we have left purposely today. Well, it worked. It wasn't anything that is not going to be duplicated, I wouldn't think, but we've got a dogfish now. Most of the anglers studiously avoid those, but on this particular circumstance, we're very pleased to have it. So that increases our lead to a commanding 8 points, and they've still got to get one. Anything could happen. A storm could blow up, we could get blown off, and, you know, so you grab your chance while it comes. That could have been a nice tope instead of a little old dog, but we've made a start. We've increased our lead, you see.
I suppose motley crews have put to sea since the Hispaniola, but we hardly win marks for maritime elegance. Our only virtue is that we're a dry ship. Our skipper, Dave Fellick, discourages fishing and boozing.
The bream, okay, get the net under it fast. The rat, oh, it's a bream. Under it. Okay. Another species answered for?
Nice one.
Gammon wipes out Gillespie's flying start almost immediately, a black bream.
Yeah, okay.
How big was it? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, very tiny. I don't know whether it actually will register on the scales.
Immature is the word.
Have you weighed it yet? Who's weighing? Who's doing the weighing today? There could be a critical dram in this, you know that?
Well, 2 of the teams have brought their gillies. What are gillies?
Yes.
Gammon's definition is pre-welfare state.
I mean, the persons of low birth and inferior education were recruited for this venture, yes? Yeah. No, it's a part.
It's my next bait, I think.
What?
Won't wait.
No,
Shall we?
we checked it.
We're going to get bigger than it.
Some astute navigation has brought us to a point in the English Channel which looks just like 10 million other points in the English Channel. The difference being that exactly 12 fathoms below us lie the remains of the British cargo vessel, the War Helmet. It's been a resting place since the middle of World War II, when she was sunk by a German E-boat. It was many years before Dave Fellick located her and bought the wreck from the Minister of Supply. Understandably, he doesn't hang around when other fishing boats are in the vicinity. The War Helmet is now a prolific housing estate for fish, and her exact resting place is our skipper's secret. He only fishes the spot 4 times a year. For the moment, though, the only thing the wreck seems prepared to yield is a single species, pouting.
Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it.
He don't care if it falls off.
No,
What are you
I don't think.
talking about?
Is that any improvement? You want to weigh that one?
Yeah, do it.
Oh, Christ, you got a big one.
Stick that on.
Stick it on, just to check.
Oh, boy.
It's turned into a pouting competition, hasn't it?
But eventually, the pouting sequence is broken. John Darling, of the team trailing third, hooks a pollock.
Go on, net. Net!
Brian Harris, too, has a rod groaning with promise. But in fact, what he catches counts no points at all.
Yeah, fish.
Net it carefully. Net it
Big
carefully.
crab.
Net it carefully.
Beautiful.
Got it. Really? Another species?
Look at that. Look at that.
We weren't going to let him fall off, were we?
Well, let's have a show of hands. Those for the bank first, on one drift.
In terms of species, if not in fish, the raid on the wreck has been disappointing. Democracy determines where they'll try next.
two. Right, we go
Well,
back
I tell
to
you
the
what,
bank
as
for one
long as
more.
we go on some clean ground before we finish. You're going to fish them?
I'm going to give you clean ground
That's
fishing
fine,
before
then.
you
OK,
finish.
let them go over the bank again, great.
So we'll have one more drift on the bank
All right.
then. But I'll give you 10 minutes on that bank, and then I want to get back onto that wreck while the wind's cancelling the tide out and we can hover there.
Yeah. Are you going to anchor up there, skipper, or drift it?
I'm going to drift it.
Clive, can't you get a doggy then?
What?
Can't you manage a doggy?
I've become impotent as far as doggies are concerned now.
Immediately, Gillespie strikes. It's a vital moment. A new species will increase his lead from 5 points to 7, rather like being 2 up with time running out in a cup final.
Tell him we got a lamp on. Tell him we got a big fish on.
Go on now, it's the bloody... It's the bottom now. It's in the bottom now, I think. Have we got a bit of wood? Quick, I can put this line round. Quick, no, just give me the handle. Quick. Round again. Round again.
Can you slack off on the reel?
I wish I could slack off. I wish I could.
Slack. Yeah, well, I got a good fish on now. It can be right at the top. Just under the boat being held by your line.
Net. Net.
You've got your fish.
Pollock, yeah. Well, the link is really small.
What is that? Your side?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Can we drift back, you reckon? Can we go that way, skipper, please?
What happened there was that their lines got tangled under the keel. Gammon won with a large pollock. So, with 2 of the 60 hours left, the race is still open.
Clive, you picked up 2 points over the wreck.
Yeah.
And yet you were clearly in a hurry to get off it. Why was that?
Well, we wanted to get onto this clean ground, really, because we thought we'd pick up some fish like dogs and tope that the others had already got. So it was going to be a bonus to us.
Yeah.
But in fact, this is the most barren piece of bloody desert I've ever come across in my life, I think, so far. We could do better with this. You could usually do better than this off any pier.
There's been a little bit of niggling about the rules, you know, because you spend a bit of time steaming from position to position.
Yes.
Do you think they're a little bit too competitive?
Well, you get this in any competition, no matter what it is. One thing I have enjoyed today with these people, there's no viciousness to the fish. So many competitions, I do get people coming at it for the black bream, and you'll see, rather than take the hook out of the fish, they'll put their thumb in the gill and they'll rip the poor fish to pieces. They'll rip its mouth out just to get the hook out quick, to get over the side, to get another fish. Now that, to a man like me, is anathema. I don't want it, and I would have taken the boat back, as I always would if anybody starts with it on my boat. But no, these fishermen have been fair to the fish, they've been kind to the fish. When they've brought the fish in, they've been dispatched in a proper manner and put in the trays. There's been no cruelty. This is the sort of thing that skippers like myself dislike intensely.
So, with a handsome tribute, the fishing race goes on. A scad puts Gillespie and Gibbinson back with a commanding lead, and there are those of us who feel we can now put our feet up and contemplate the imminent luxury of a good night's sleep. No chance. Strictly speaking, ophiophobia is a morbid fear of snakes. But as far as I'm concerned, it also embraces eels, and I didn't enjoy what came next.
That bit behind you, over there.
Gaff there.
There you are. Oh. That's the sharp one. Start doing it.
OK. This is the sharp one?
Yes. Don't let go because it's heavy.
Shall I get it, Dave, or you're off, Clive?
Don't mind. If you want it, you go ahead if you want. You're professionals.
Can you move out that way? Well, they do, right? Yeah.
My baby.
What? Bring it in. Carry it out.
He's right screwed. You've done it before, haven't you? I can tell.
One more shandy.
Here you are.
It's not like a chair leg, is it?
No, I wouldn't like him in my lad.
For that.
Another 2 points for Gammon and Harris.
We
we've got about 30 minutes of this competition to go. Do you think that Brian and Clive can possibly catch up? They're 4.5 points behind.
With sea fishing, anything can happen in the very last few seconds. It's like a football match. Anybody can score right at the very last and upset the whole game.
I suppose they can, but if Gillespie and Gibbinson are to be overhauled, it's going to require something hardly less spectacular than a New Testament miracle. Precisely 7 minutes of the 60 hours remain. How, if at all, does Clive Gammon see his team's chances?
Well, a kind of mathematical chance, but not a real one. Although, yeah, we need 2 fish now. I don't think we're going to do it.
Brian, do you think you've got a chance now at this stage?
I don't think so, really, no.
Ian's in.
To underline the point, Gillespie's hauling in another dogfish, the species which has been evading Gammon and Harris all day.
We're going to end up with total confusion. Whose is it?
Not total.
Huh?
Not total.
Smooth hound.
Yes, it's a spotted smooth.
Yeah.
Spotted smooth hound.
To the last second, Gammon and Harris fish on. In the end, time runs out of them. Well, that's it. The end of the contest at sea. The congratulations are genuine. There is in angling an undoubted element of luck. But as in other fields, luck has a curious habit of visiting the industrious, the talented and the brave. As anyone who's followed all 6 episodes of the fishing race will know, Ian Gillespie and Jim Gibbinson, the schoolmasters, prepared their ground more thoroughly than their rivals. They also took a calculated gamble by putting to sea on the first day as well as the last. Above all, they recognized a simple truth. Time spent in rushing from location to location, as Brian Harris and Clive Gammon did on the opening day, was time lost to fishing. We began the series by invoking the spirit of Isaac Walton, who these days has more disciples of all ages than ever before. He's still dangling an optimistic line, incidentally, from a stained glass window in Winchester Cathedral. But I wonder what the old patron father of angling would have thought of the first filmed fishing race. A trifle vulgar, I suspect, for a man who saw angling, and I quote, as a harmless recreation that invites men to contemplation and quietness. Back at Littlehampton, the winners and losers of the fishing race are too tired to contemplate anything more than a ragged prize giving. Well, after 60 hours of chasing all round southern England after these fish, gentlemen, there it is, the award, the Golden Maggot, all of 1.5 inches high. To Ian and Jim, congratulations, 23 species, the winners.
Thanks very much, Ian. Thank you.
To the both of you, you have to sort out who's going to hold it. There we are.
You take it.
Well done, Jim.
Well done, Ian.
Cheers. Thanks very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
To the winners first. Having done this, how do you think, after 5 or 6 programmes to the English public, how do you think you're going to emerge? And how do you think angling is going to emerge from what you've been up to?
Well, hopefully, I think we may emerge as people who are prepared to go to extraordinary lengths to catch a few fish. We'll probably emerge in the angling public's eye as people who spend an awful lot of time catching an awful lot of small fish. I think we've become preoccupied these last 60 hours in catching anything that's different from the ones we caught before. But we thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope we'll emerge as people with perhaps a little more intelligence and degree of feeling than the general non-angling public would like to credit us with. We'll probably revel in the fact that we are all a bit mad, though, and have thoroughly demonstrated the fact over the last 60 hours.
Jim, do you think it's been a fair competition?
I think it's been very fair. Yes, it's completely fair.
Clive and Brian, do you think that the hardest thing has been the travel and the exhaustion?
Certainly the driving was very exhausting. Lack of sleep, really.
Yes. How do you think you'll emerge? As bucolic, enjoyable
As crackpot as ever.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I don't really care. I don't. It doesn't make any difference to me.
Down with the losing team here, we've had a quiet day, certainly from one of the members.
Yeah, it's a very quiet day, yeah. Thoroughly exhausted, thoroughly worn out, very demoralised.
Oh,
we
dear.
thought we'd walk this, quite frankly.
Would you do it again?
Oh, yes, yeah, I'd like a second chance. at this,
Twice, starting now.
And what's going to be your next project?
Well, I think the next competition should be to see how many species of British songbird we can shoot in 24 hours.
All complaints about that remark should be addressed to John Darling, 27B, Station Road, Darjeeling.